What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Derek,
I'm Kevin.
and together we're last week's album. We're talking about good music. But before we talk about this week's good music, we're going to start things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
All right, so this week we're talking about And the War Came by Shakey Graves. This is the second full-length album by Shakey Graves following Roll the Bones, which was released in 2011, and he had an EP before that, Donor Blues, back in 2009. Shakey Graves is comprised of Alejandro Rose-Garcia, who is an actor turned singer-songwriter who has been working his trade and building a rep around the Austin music scene. So Kevin, why don't you tell us what you think And the War Came sounds like?
Sure thing, Derek. I think this album sounds like a battle of wills between acoustic country and electric blues. What do you think it sounds like, Derek?
Oh, Kevin, that's good. I think this sounds like, at times, intimate folk a la Jose Gonzalez, and other times, Ryan Bingham-esque boot stompers held together by the country western weird of Sturgill Simpson.
Nice. I like that. It's deep sounds like. Good guess.
He covers a lot of ground here, which I think we're about to explore in our key tracks. I had Family and Genus. What about yourself?
I believe it's Family and Genus.
Genus? Is that a hard G or a soft G? I really didn't pay attention in biology.
I think it's a hard G, like genome and the like. But anyway, my key track is a little easier to pronounce. It's called Dearly Departed. So,
that's good. Kevin, yours is easier to pronounce. I'm going to think on that while you go first because yours also comes before mine.
Sure. So, Dearly Departed, which actually features Esma Patterson, who I think appears on 3 different tracks on this album. This one being the first. It starts off really heavy with this nice hand clap and tambourine beat. We get these soft cooing falsettos, some warm acoustic guitar comes in, and then these male and female vocals, sometimes together, sometimes trading off lines back and forth. Get this bluesy electric riff coming in about halfway through, and then a really dark, like, acoustic guitar bridge where they're both singing vocals, which is really nice. And then it quickly builds, then drops out to just their wailing voices, then builds again to a crescendo before just their falsettos that started the song sort of come back to close out. So all in all, really nice orchestration and flow and build and fall and everything. And the two together are just kind of magical. So definitely check out Dearly Departed. Derek, tell us about Family and Genus.
Family and Genus, Kevin. Let me tell you. You're just describing flow, orchestration, builds. I think those themes are also present again here in Family and Genus. It starts off with these soft synth murmurs, which really grow into a dreamy seesaw type hook. There's a steady, evenly paced guitar riff, which kind of sounds like a heavily affected kind of acoustic guitar. It's got a really interesting sound. I thought just really captured me right there. There's foot tapping, and as it kind of builds, when the chorus comes in, there's a larger, more pronounced synth hook, hand claps, and then even later on, strings are added to the mix, which really kind of add this very dreamy haze to it. The female backing vocals come in later, bass guitar, and these synths just grow in magnitude and pace, creating this feeling of being swept away. The lyrics here kind of explore love and loss in the context of finding love, building a family, and how that relates to your family before you. And one thing I really thought was interesting was that the verses start very haltingly, which really kind of seems to heighten the smoothly delivered endings of the phrases. So just a lot of things coming together, lyrically and how it was all orchestrated. Just really cool song, I thought. So Kevin, that now brings us to Best Lyric. What did you think?
Well, I'm sticking with my key track here, Derek. I'm going to pull a line from Dearly Departed. This song just really, really grabs me, even lyrically. The line here goes, "You and I both know that the house is haunted. You and I both know that the ghost is me." And I believe it starts the song off, and we hear it a few times throughout. But I don't know. Overall, just this really interesting play on words and self-deprecation and guilt and all those things kind of riddled together, but the way it's sung really helps the line too. Really, really nice all-together package there. So What about you, Derek?
Yeah, Kevin, I think that's a really good point. How he sings some of these is almost as important as what the content is lyrically. Mine, I'm also sticking to my key track from Family and Genus. He says, if I ever wander on by, could you flag me down and beg me to drop what I'm doing and sit beside you? Just once again, kind of that he really builds this halting type pace in here, and then it just really just goes by quick there at the end. Just kind of a really interesting contrast within one kind of line right there. So that brings us to overall rating. Kevin, I'm going to put you on the spot. And the war came. What did you rate it?
All right. I love Shakey Graves. Let me say that first and foremost. But I'm going to have to give this one a 3 as an album. I think he's a great performer, especially live. Derek, you and I actually saw him live at South by. We were both kind of blown away. But I think the album sort of hits and misses in various spots. There are some great moments, like Dearly Departed, some really heavy, awesome riffs, like on If Not For You. There's the more chill simplicity of like Hardwired, cool textures of Family and Genus, like you mentioned, Derek. But it's kind of all over the place, and sometimes that works well. Sometimes it feels like it loses momentum because of that. And I don't know, personally, I like a little tighter tracks. It feels very loose, almost off the cuff and live in a way. So yeah, it's got its pluses and minuses, but overall, I'm going with 3. What do you think, Derek?
Oh, Kevin, man, that's some really good points. Overall, I'm going to give this a 4, though. I think you're exactly right. If you looked at some specific tracks individually, I mean, I thought some were just home runs. But yeah, I think you're right. If you try to take it together as a whole, it does lose some of its luster. But I really enjoyed just the different sounds he was exploring and creating. I never thought he sounded out of his comfort zone in any of them. And obviously he was exploring a lot here, like Family and Genus, I just kind of mentioned, was very layered and textured, which, if you're familiar with some of his more his live performance, which could be more simplistic, if you will, just that's kind of his gig. He's definitely taking on a lot here. But so overall, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Kevin's getting a 3 out of 5. This is 7 out of 10 in total, and so you should really more than likely go check this one out. So there you have it. Thanks for joining us again at last week's album. Don't forget to subscribe to our shiz and join us again next week. We're going to continue talking about good music. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.